born-again cowboy sometimes, so I just kind of whip this around and bang. I know, it's silly. We have a ton of cheater glasses, both women, female, different, everything. Thank you, Richard. Yeah. So they're going to be in the back. Grab them, take 2 or 3 or more.
Whatever you need.
Whatever you need. So, actually, it would probably be a good idea if we left some in the pews. So. So. See, that way nobody ever has to buy any, and you don't have to admit that you can't really see something. So. T-shirts and sweatshirts that you could buy, but probably shouldn't. But sometimes I question my sanity, but the unicorn in the kitchen told me I'm fine. If I woke up in the morning and nothing hurt, I would think I was dead. I'm not short, I'm fun size. Being cremated is my last hope for a smoking hot body. Yep. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. All right. Well, we do have a couple patron saints by the name of John Lennon and George Carlin. So, and yes, they're both passed, and at least one of them knew who we were, and we actually talked to George up in Yakima. So it was quite fun. A bunch of us went up to see him. So fun. But we don't start with him because he's kind of interesting. But John said, all we are saying is give peace a chance. And George, no comment is a comment.
That's right.
So, all right. In the mid-1800s, famous trapeze artist Jules Léotard began wearing knit-tight bodysuits, which made it easier to perform his stunts. The bodysuits became so associated with Léotard that the name stuck. So.
Now people don't call them that. They're just tights.
They're just tights. Yeah, that's true. That is true. Yeah. And this, thank you, Jocey. This is a great book. It has all kinds of good stuff in there. And of course, I have been so busy this morning, I forgot to preview anything and even turn the page. So, most of these are really, really good, so I'll just read a couple. Benjamin Desarle. My idea of an incredible person is a person who agrees with me. Beauty is only skin deep. Yep, true. Henry David Thoreau. Nature is full of genius, full of the divinity, so that not a snowflake escapes its fashioning hand.
Wow.
How nice. How nice. And things that make you go, the man who listens to reason is lost. Reason enslaves all those minds that are not strong enough to master her. And I said that one last week, didn't I? I actually remembered that. Amazing. I know. Colleges, I did that one too. I know. So, insanity is often the logic of an accurate mind overtasked. Okay. All intelligent thoughts have already been thought. What is necessary is only to try to think of them again. And a French proverb, to want to forget something is to think of it.
Right.
Darn it. All right, anybody remember Red Skelton? Yeah. His recipe for perfect marriage. 2 times a week we go to a restaurant, have a little beverage, good food, and companionship. She goes on Tuesdays, I go on Friday. We also sleep in separate beds. Hers in California, mine's in Texas. I take my wife everywhere, but she keeps finding her way back. He was very good. He was very good. Yep. Oh, and the Pacific Northwest, according to Jeff Foxworthy. I did these last in 2005.
Wow.
So if anybody recognizes them, they were here in 2005. So, you know the state flower? Mildew. You feel guilty throwing aluminum cans or paper in the trash. Use the statement sunbreak and know what it means. You know more than 10 ways to order coffee. You know more people who own boats than air conditioners. You feel overdressed wearing a suit to a nice restaurant. And you stand on a deserted corner in the rain waiting for the walk signal.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, over on that side, the wet side, yeah. Yeah. All right. Anything going on that I should know about? I mean, anything going on with the expo? I know. You want to? I know Allie's going to be. Are you going to be doing all that? I know you're going to be doing. So, okay. All right. You want to do it now? That'd be a great time for that.
Do it now before I forget.
Okay. This is Allie, by the way.
Hi, good morning.
Thanks, Allie.
So I just wanted to talk to you guys a little bit this morning about the expo. It's coming up on the April the 4th and 5th. Yes. This is a huge event, and it's amazing. And if you guys have ever been, you know. And if you've ever been, you also know how much it takes to put it on. So I'm going to introduce you guys to some of our leaders, and they're going to be looking for volunteers, which you guys know we need a lot of them. So first of all, I'll introduce Valerie. Go ahead. We all know who Valerie is, or anyhow. So Valerie's going to be our person to head up all of the vendors. So if you have any kind of a business or a booth that you would like to have, go ahead and hit up Val.
Well, we only have a few left, so.
There you go.
Excellent.
She's doing a fabulous job.
The next person is Nancy, and I know she's not here. She's usually in our back. She's the one who's going to handle all of our vendor payments, billing, things like that. So if you've got those things just to get taken care of, she's the one.
If it has to do with money, Nancy's the gal.
That's the one. Looks like Sandy Lang and Christy Doan are going to be the ones who are in charge for advertising and arranging advertising local publications. If you know of any place that we could advertise, or you yourself have one, that is the one. Our silent auction, looks like Carol and Ginny. Carol and Ginny are going to be heading that up.
Thank you.
And you can start bringing in donations now for that.
Yes.
If you don't have any questions about what to bring, next up.
I got some guy things I'm going to bring in. So,
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, if you guys have stuff for the silent auction, it would be
tool belts. So,
Yeah. Fantastic.
Women like those things.
That's, well, yeah, you're
got a
right.
couple.
You're right.
For help with the venue, this is for taping. William, he's usually up here. William's gonna help out with. They do all of the taping where the booths and the vendors are going to be at. He's going to be the one to contact for that. For all of the clearing and blessing of the venue, so that's going to be Shannon right over here. And the volunteers will walk through the venue and they'll clear with the intent to clear the space and neutralize any energies with their crystals and their intent. Crystal and salt bowls will also be blessed. And then a special prayer post around the venue. So if that's something you'd like to volunteer and be a part of, we'd love to have you. There's power in numbers. Ticket takers. We need ticket takers. This is the largest group of volunteers that we could possibly need. And
And super important.
Yes,
I
it
mean-
is super important so that we can continue to rotate them so that so that the shifts are covered. And then silent auction. Yes.
Who's in charge of ticket taking?
Oh, excuse me. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Tammy. Sorry, Tammy Hudson is going to be the one. And I don't.
Not here today.
I was just going to say I don't think she's here today, but and then we said silent auction. That's also Carol and Ginny. Okay, so vendor support. These volunteers are going to keep eyes on the vendors and their designated area. These people are going to assist the vendors to help set up as needed, and they will also act as a food runner, take money to the vendor, pick up food items from the deli, things like that. You guys are just kind of be the support that runs in between, and those are huge help, huge help. And looks like we're going to hit up Beth Clark for that one. So
Thank you,
Is Beth
Beth.
in here? I was about to say. Beth? Oh, there we go. Oh, Leanne and
Leanne's right
Richard.
there. Richard.
And
That Leanne.
Brock and Brandy, and they're back there in the back room. Readers. We need volunteers for readers, and this is tarot cards, and they're going to be offering readings during their shift. They will be provided a layout, and you will use your own cards and your insights. And if that's something that you'd like to do, go ahead and contact Mary Lou.
Thank you, Mary Lou.
Yes. Same goes for healers. They will take the tickets and then provide healings during their shift time, just like we do with the readers. And for our healers, we'll go ahead and hit up Sharon Steele. Is she back here? There she is.
Thank you, Sharon.
A kids booth. I think this is the coolest part, but that's probably because I'm a big kid. So, so we do need volunteers to run a kids booth. Super easy. We're just assisting the little ones and doing some colors, some prayer sticks. They make little prayer sticks. We're coloring some mandalas. It's not a babysitting service. They're just coming to hang out and do a quick little craft. So there's, you don't have to worry about anything like that. And for that, we will get in contact with Carrie. I don't know if she's here yet. Nope. For our Divine Fellowship booth, we will contact Janice, and she's going to sell readers and healers tickets for those who are wanting readings and healings, as well as tickets for our raffle items. And then, for food donations, we are accepting canned food, non-perishables, and our leader for that one is going to be Lori Miller.
And Laura, so are we going to be doing dog food, pet food too? Plus pet food?
Awesome. So yes, we will also accept pet food.
Okay.
For Sunday communion, again, that's going to be Mary Lou, because we'll have service there on site at the expo Sunday morning. Do we do right at 10?
Pretty close to 10. I mean,
Yeah.
we're definitely not ish.
Yeah,
so.
definitely not a 10-ish. A little bit more 10 on the dot.
We did it 9 a few years ago, but a 10.
We're doing 10, and the expo will actually start at 11.
Okay.
Okay, so church is at 10. Expo starts at 11 on Sunday.
Awesome.
All right. For the vendor assistant, loading in, loading out, again, that's going to be William. He's usually...
William's
Oh,
right there.
Hey,
Woo-hoo.
hey, William. This is a huge thing, and as
It is.
being a vendor before, it's greatly appreciated, because there's so many booths that just have so much stuff that we got.
We have
in,
vendors that have been
out.
coming back for 15, 17 years. I mean,
Yeah.
from over in Seattle. I mean,
Yeah.
it's a big deal.
But yeah, that is another really great one, and the more hands, the quicker it goes. So, so this is our Sunday. Sorry, give me just a second here. I think that's it.
So Hallie, how long have we been doing this?
22.
20 years. This
20.
is the 20th year
Awesome.
for the show.
20th.
20th anniversary for the show.
So,
We haven't thought about it. Are we going to do anything special for the 20th? You know, fireworks or something? I don't know.
If you have an idea,
yeah.
Yeah, it's not a bad idea.
And
Not.
yeah,
not a
and
bad
can
idea.
confirm I was there on your guys's, I think your second year. It was the year that you
Really?
guys weren't at your usual red line. You guys were at another. Red
Well, we've been to a couple different venues, but okay.
Yep,
wow.
you guys weren't in the usual spot, and I went there, and that was changed me forever. So, if you'd like to help, we would love to have all of the help. Yeah.
Are you gonna hand out, pass around sign-up sheets eventually, or
Yeah.
do we have to?
Yeah.
Eventually, yes. But these are. Will we have these posted on the church website or the contacts? Okay. Yep, because that's who we'll get a hold of. So.
Yep.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, the show is a big deal every year. I mean, it's a big deal. So, a young couple moved into a new neighborhood. The next morning, while they were eating breakfast, a young woman saw her neighbor hanging the wash outside. The laundry's not very clean, she said. She doesn't know how to wash correctly. Perhaps she needs better laundry soap. Her husband looked on, but remained silent. Every time her neighbor would hang up her wash to dry, the young woman would make some comment. About a month later, the woman was surprised to see a nice clean wash on the line and said something to her husband. "Look, she has learned how to wash correctly. I wonder who taught her." The husband said, "I got up early this morning and cleaned our windows." And so it is with life. What we see when watching others depends.
Look for it. It's beautiful. They come out like beautiful snowflake patterns. And Dr. Emoto, who talked about miracles of water, showed us how, again, using words that have a higher frequency, words like love and gratitude could change the water. And under the microscope, unclean, polluted water that looked like chaos, again, by blessing that water and taking new pictures of those crystals, they too turned out like beautiful snowflakes. Okay? So have you experimented with that for yourself? Have you taken water and blessed it and noticed the change? So if we can change water, where's the limit? What else can we change? Is there a limit? I don't think there is a limit. So in deciding that everything's vibrating, all of nature is communicating, and so are we. So based on how we feel about life, we stay within a certain range, primarily. We know when we're happy, when we feel good. We like the sunlight, we like nature, and our body feels lighter and springier. Is that a word? Springier?
It is now.
Thank you. But when we get sad, depressed, we don't feel good, what do? We pull the curtains. We like to hang out in the dark, and the body feels heavy. Okay. We do this because our vibration drops. And the vibration that we carry influences how we see the world and how the world reacts to us. So Dr. David Hawkins used his map of consciousness, and he did muscle testing with thousands of people. And he found that by the thoughts that we carry, depends on what frequency we carry, how we look at the world, how we look at each other, determines what level we're at in that frequency. He wrote books such as Power versus Force and explained this process. And he showed us how to look at our world and our relationships with others. And how we felt about those relationships, God and Creator, determined that frequency. And again, saying we're creating what we're seeing out there. So when we meet others, we are attracted to people that carry a similar range of frequency that we are. And we're not attracted to people that carry a much lower. We tend to be attracted to those people that have a higher one because at our lower frequencies, we want to gravitate automatically, naturally, to those higher frequencies. So where we spend our time, the experiences we have, and the thoughts we have is going to influence where we are in that frequency. So let's switch for a moment and look at what's happening in our world, because it's not really any different. So right now, if we look at our government, do we feel good about it? Does it seem a little out of control? Or a lot out of control? Okay. And we're starting to lose some of our personal freedoms because of lack of cooperation. There's a greater division of wealth. Big Pharma has raised medication costs higher than any other country. China's corona disease has whole cities quarantined. Let's look at what Monsanto and Roundup has done to our land and our crops. Also, there's so much crime and gun violence in our schools and in our churches, a place where they should never be. They shouldn't be anywhere, but least of all should they be in our schools and our churches. But we have been seeing some change, too. People are being accountable for what they say and do, like our Jeffrey Epstein and Henry Weinstein, okay, and many, many others, okay? Things were kept silent under the covers for many, many years are being brought out now, and that's a really good thing. What about the earth itself, though? What's the earth going through? We have global warming, we have ozone problems, natural disasters like earthquakes and volcanic eruptions seem to be more, the devastating fires in California and Australia. But let's look at what happened when Mount St. Helens erupted and all that ash fell on northern Washington. What they said originally was that the crops were devastated. Is that what happened? No, they were more fertile than ever. Okay? And what happens after many forest fires? It renews the forest in its own way. So some of our extreme weather patterns, hurricanes, tornadoes, flooding. Okay? Our ocean is polluted. And fish are disappearing at accelerated rates. But we've recently become aware of the problems with plastics and other things that are non-degradable, and we're starting to change that. So we are moving towards some good in that area. Our magnetic North Pole, which is what our compass uses, our GPS systems and our aviation systems, that setting has been slowly moving since they started measuring it in 1831. But in the last few years, suddenly it's moving faster than ever, and they're having to keep up with it more. Because if they don't, the planes are going to overshoot the airports, guys. They don't keep up with it. And we're going to not get to our destination either. So the pole was never stationary. The magnetic North Pole was never stationary. But it's the molten lava in the earth that causes it to move. So what's happening to Mother Earth that's moving faster? Okay. Is she unhappy? And then we have the Schumann resonance, which is the electromagnetic wave that surrounds the whole Earth. And Joe Dispenza calls it a celestial power station, or our Earth's heartbeat. So think of it as similar to a tuning fork. Dispenza says our nervous systems can be influenced by this electromagnetic wave. I hope I'm saying that right. Thank you. Maybe that's why being in nature has always been restorative and healing. The frequency of this Schumann resonance, as it's named, has been being measured since the 1950s, and it has always been 7.8 hertz cycles per second. Okay. That's what our heart beats to. I shouldn't beat on that. Okay. In 2014, the frequency for the first time went up to 15 and 25 hertz. Okay. In January 31st of 2017, the first time it went up to 36 hertz, cycles per second. So what does that mean to us? Are we affected by that? And according to neuroscience, frequency reading 36 hertz in the human brain are more associated with stressed nervous systems than a relaxed and healthy one. And since we are made of matter and susceptible to electromagnetic fields, and because our lives are inseparable from the Earth, then if Earth's frequency is raising, shouldn't that also raise our frequency? Okay. So late last year, November and December of 2019, it went up to 50, then it went to 100, then it went to 150. It spiked several times in those months. So what do you think that did to us? Okay? And the lower our frequency, the more it affected us. Okay? So it's long been suspected that the human consciousness can be impacted by this magnetic field and create disturbances. That our human consciousness can change it, and vice versa. It also changes us. So yesterday when I looked at the website, we were at 51 hertz yesterday. Thank goodness not the 150, but much higher than it's been in all these years since they've been measuring it. So you can see this website daily. And several times when I wasn't sleeping, I was trying to figure out, why am I not sleeping? What am I thinking about? What am I worrying about? What am I concerned about? And I really couldn't find anything. And if I went and looked at the Schumann resonance, sometimes it was because it had spiked up. So it, in my mind, it is affecting us. Okay? So several years ago, I used to do spoon bending, quite a bit of spoon bending. And it wasn't about using force to bend the spoon. For me, it was to get in resonance and frequency with the spoon and allow the spoon to bend. But what I had to do is I had to let it bend the way it wanted to bend. I couldn't make it bend the way I wanted to. Okay? I think that's what we have to do with nature and our world and everything about us. We have to get in sync and resonancy with our world. So what does all this mean? Remember the question I asked you when we started about when that terrible thing happened to you that we call the hero's journey? Okay. But later we see something much better. We're in a different place. We can see it from a different angle. I think that's what we're being asked to do now, to see things differently than we've ever seen them, to put ourselves in a different place. I don't believe we're being asked to change. I think we're being pushed to change, and we have to change now. I think God, earth, nature, all of it is pushing us. Our world is currently unsustainable the way it's going. And anything that's unsustainable has to die. So we're evolving into a new phase. We're not here to hold on to the old and the unsustainable. What does this mean to look at life differently? Quantum physics says we are all connected. All the cells work in cooperation. So we need to know that we can work in cooperation and harmony with each other and not work as individuals. So Bruce Lipton and Greg Braden said we need to create on a level of cooperation, love, and connection in order to survive. We have to establish new connections with each other with open-hearted compassion and really recognize that we are one and quit living as individuals. We're blessed to have Sandra and William. They provide us with oneness blessings every month, And that oneness blessings helps you open up to understand, to feel that oneness. And so we need to take advantage of it. That the second Sunday of every month, that's going to help us. The more we do that, the more we open up to that oneness. We need to move into higher frequencies, and it's more important than ever that we do this, because if we hang on to these negative thoughts about ourselves, resentment, hate, anger, fear, any of these, it makes us stay weighted and down. And we can't let go and be who we came here to be if we carry these heavy frequencies. So we have many people in this church that do a variety of healing work. I'm putting together a list of these people right now. If you know anyone that does any type of healing work, I'd appreciate knowing about it and adding them to the list. And it'll be available here at the church. I've never liked that word healer very much. It just didn't resonate with me. But I found a quote that I really like, so let me read it to you. A healer is not someone you go to for healing. A healer is someone who helps you find the key within you for your own ability to heal. The sky is not our limit, you guys. Our belief system is our limit. Whatever we can believe about ourselves and our world is what we can make happen. So the HeartMath Institute has a global coherence initiative, and they are uniting thousands of people from all over the world in an effort to shift global consciousness from instability and discord to greater cooperation, harmony, and enduring peace. And a shift of consciousness is required to solve the problem, like global hunger, for instance. One of HeartMath's goals is to have 14 monitoring stations around the world measuring the Earth's energetic level. They are monitoring what the Earth is feeling because we are responsible for her and she is responsible for us. Divine Fellowship has prayer warriors. There's approximately 50 or so prayer warriors. And Mary Lilga, anytime the church gets a prayer request, Mary sends that out to the 50 of us. And we're to send positive, uplifting thoughts of prayers to that person or situation. And we get lots of response back, or Janice and Mary get lots of response of how powerful that is. Okay? We need to do the same thing when we hear the news. When others are in trauma in some way, we need to put our thoughts and prayers to what would be of assistance. What do most of us do when we hear about an earthquake or a volcanic eruption? We say, oh, that's awful. Oh, that's sad. Do you think that's helping the situation? That's like putting wood on the fire that we want to put out. What we want to do is be aware of our thoughts and change it right then. When we hear that, we want to send positive energy that way, in whatever way. What do we want it to be like for them? So if it's an earthquake, what would we want to see? We'd want to see them getting help and assistance in whatever way they need, what's best for them, right? We don't want to leave our thoughts on how devastating it is. So each one of us need to take control of our thoughts and send the opposite of what we're hearing. Okay. They give us one snippet of good news on the news, and they feed us full of all this fear and pain in the world. We're the ones that have to change it. We're the ones that have to look at it differently. If we don't look at it differently, we're feeding the fire. Okay? And we think, well, they're just our thoughts, but they're not just your thoughts. That's changing your frequency. It's changing the frequency of everybody else around you. We need to understand that we are one. Okay? What I'd like us to do is just take a moment and imagine Washington, D.C., and seeing a wave of calm and cooperation and peace come over that whole area, just like a fog. And that feeling can help make them feel that they want to tell the truth, that they want to be cooperative, that they want to be kind and loving to each other. The more we do that, the more we can affect change, and we can become more aware of the energy we put out. So with this line of thought, I want to start a discussion group, and it starts this afternoon, and I invite you to join us. These are the things that we're going to talk about. How can we as individuals help make that change? So we'll be meeting this afternoon, the fourth Sunday of each month for the next few months from 1:30 to 3:30. Or if Sundays don't work for you, we're going to be meeting on Tuesday evenings from 6:30 to 8:30, again on the fourth Sunday of the next few months. It's called Metaphysics 2020. Thank you, Janice, for help with the name. As a group, we can discuss these things. What are your fears? What are your concerns? How do you see us changing this? We also have practical ways to help us get rid of some of the negative emotions we might be carrying. At that discussion group this afternoon, I'm going to be sharing the websites of all these things I've been talking about. What I feel we must do is we must allow the old ways of viewing life to die. We can't stay where we are. We have to rise up out of fire to make a more loving and compassionate world. Very much like the phoenix rises out of the fire. No, we have to let the old go so the new can come in. That's really what this is about. So thank you for listening to me. I hope to see you this afternoon.
Tuesday night group, where will that meet?
Here. Everything's here.
So you think God had a plan? Because when did we talk about you doing this, Jocey? Wasn't just like a week or so ago? Just about 3 weeks ago? Last Sunday night, in the evening, at nighttime, in bedtime, I had a dream that was more than a dream. You ever had one of those? And in that dream, am I messing with your... Okay.
I am.
So, in that dream, it was a crisis situation, and there was this young girl, and she was panicked. And the me in the dream told this little girl how to handle the panic, how to handle the stress. And when I woke up, I realized it was not a dream, it was a tool for us. And it was a tool, a new energetic harmonic that we've been gifted to here and now, that this is the anchor point for the entire world. It's just now an energetic structure that's being gifted to us. And I'm going to activate that for you today, and I'm going to I even have a handout. Thank you, Mary Lou, for printing those out. But let me tell you about this energy, this energetic construct, because it's the energetic harmonic for ascension. The very thing Jocey's talking about is being gifted to us to make it easy for us. Isn't that fun? Don't you love that? So it comes in the form of an orb, and it's about this big, and it's energetic. So it doesn't take up any room physically in your body. So you have your diaphragm, and then below your diaphragm is your stomach. Behind the stomach and in front of the spine, this little sphere or orb of light exists. So it doesn't take up any room in your physical form, in your physical body, so it's not going to cause any discomfort. And it emanates the energy of golden, coppery, red, brown, burgundy kind of colors. I haven't really seen the colors that emit through the body, but what it does is it acts like a gyroscope. You know how you take your phone and you turn it sideways and the picture writes itself? This is a self-writing mechanism. So it acts like a gyroscope in your own system. It grounds you, gives you strength and stability, and at the same time, whatever changes are going on around you, you can automatically, energetically right yourself and be on that ascension path. Now, the ascension path is when you take the next right thing for the highest and best good. It's not reacting to the news. It's not reacting to the weather. It's not reacting to anything that's outside of yourself. It's walking your sacred path because you're choosing to. It's your sacred path. That's your ascension path. And when we do the right thing based on what we're experiencing as a sacred truth, we're on an ascension path. So I've named this little orb the ascension orb. And this orb will allow us to centralize and stabilize no matter what's going on in the world, no matter what you hear on the news, no matter what Washington, D.C. is doing, no matter what the earth is doing. You can be stable, the stabilizing force that we're being called to action for. And what that does then is that instead of reacting with either disdain, oh, those stupid people, I can't believe how horrible they are, instead of acting that, or oh my gosh, everything's terrible, it's going to be horrible, we don't respond that way. We're going to be responding in this stable form because we're not influenced by all of that. We're influencing that in a good, positive way. Does that make sense? Now here's the thing, here's the really cool thing, is that it links. The harmonic that I have, this ascension harmonic that's vibrating within me, when your ascension harmonic activates, you'll link. Now this is not those energetic attachments where you feel my pain, or I feel your pain, or you feel my burdens, or whatever. This is just amplifying the energy. It's creating a web, a connection, a oneness on a whole nother level. So how do you activate this? How do you acquire this? Let me see if there's anything else I need to tell you first. Energetic orb stabilizes body, mind, emotions, and spirit all at once. And multiple ascension orbs harmonize and support one another. So you'll have the support that you need, even if it's not in the same room. I sent the information to Beth because when we did a reading, we had a tarot class here on Wednesday night, and her reading was all about my ascension orb. It was, I have a sense that there's this energy, and here it is, and it's in the solar plexus, and blah, blah, blah. So everything that she was getting was stuff that I'm sharing with you. So I sent her the information, and she opened up LinkedIn and got it, and she linked with mine. And she was in her home, I was in my home. But we can link, and what happens is you automatically sit taller, stand straighter, feel better. So to awaken the ascension orb, you just notice it's there. So look, take a look. Don't feel it, ask for it. Ask for it to be gifted to you. And then create it in your mind's eye. Imagine it. Your imagination is extremely powerful because your imagination works in the ethereal realms where this is activated, where this exists. So just awaken in your heart, in your mind, in your awareness, this ascension orb that's already there. Got it? Can you feel that? Now link it to mine. How does that feel? Can you feel it? Can you feel that? What's happening here is you're gonna sense being taller, straighter, stronger, and more stable. Your energy level, your vibration is gonna raise. What you're focusing on, your intent, is the harmonic of ascension. In other words, I see you walking your sacred path. So to link into mine, just say, Janice, I see you walking your sacred path. And the noticing, the awareness of that links them automatically. And you're going to feel stronger and more powerful, more centered, and more stabilized immediately. And no matter what happens to you from this moment on, you can call on this energy. No matter how often you get, oh, I'm worrying about this. Oh, look, I'm worrying about that. Self-righting, effortlessly, immediately, without any disruption. You'll sleep better, you'll live better, you'll walk better, you'll have a happier life. See if there's anything else I need you to know about this. The last thing I want you to know about this is that I don't think this is happening anywhere else on the earth but here. I think we're the anchor point. I think we're the first initiation of this, and I think it'll grow and go everywhere. So I've got a handout I'm going to hand out to you, or have help handing out if someone would be so kind. One on either side, please, and then that'll be fine. Share this with anybody that you know and link up with people that you know. Call them on the phone and say, here's this new information, and link up. Because this is something that we came here to do. Just like Jocey was talking about. Just like Jocey was talking about, we're being called to action. And the call to action is to get harmonized with this ascension energy. You're walking a sacred path. Honor yourself for that. Walk in that energy. Live in that energy. If you have any questions about that, you're welcome to chat with me after services. I do have a Bible verse I want to share with you. Because this is not just coming from my imagination. Heck, I can't make this stuff up. Wish I could, but I can't. Psalms 46, verse 1. God is our refuge and our strength, a very present help in trouble. Therefore, we will not fear, though the earth should change, and though the mountains slip to the heart of the sea, though the waters roar and foam, though the mountains quake at its swelling pride. Read the rest of that chapter someday if you have a chance. Psalms 46. It's about we have this strength. You don't have to rely on your own strength. You don't got to do this. You have help. You have assistance. So receive, and receive with deep gratitude. And that gratitude is that same harmonic that Jocey was talking about from Heart Math. That harmonic of gratitude is going to empower change and changes the frequency of our world. Mr. Phil, if you would join me up front, please. Honk. Thank you. Communion is a sacred ceremony. It's our opportunity to confirm on a physical level that we're walking our sacred path, that we're walking this ascension path. So as you partake of this, whether you like the unleavened bread, the tradition of that, animal cracker, honor a Native American pathway, or in the cup is gluten-free, whatever you choose, as you take this in, let this feed your spirit and anchor this energy that we've just received. It's a physical manifestation of our spiritual connection. So join me in prayer, if you would, please. Loving Spirit of Light, we thank you for this new ascension harmonic and the orb of ascension that has been gifted to us. We ask that you walk with us as we become the element of change. These things we pray in the name of Jesus. Amen. Join us in prayer again, please, as this is going around. Loving Spirit of Light, as we drink this in, Help us to drink in this new harmonic of ascension. Help us to connect with one another in a new way. Help us to take on this new role. These things we pray in the name of Jesus. Amen. As that's going around, Nancy ordered us some signs. These are magnetic signs that'll go on your car. And so it shows our Healing Light Expo, and then it has this year's dates on it, and we can change out the dates from year to year. But this is just something that if you're interested in having signs on your car, let me know one more way in which you can help. I think we have enough for, 10 cars, Nancy?
I'm sorry, what?
How many? 10 sets?
We got 40
20 sets.
signs altogether, but 2 signs per car, so 20 cars.
So 20 cars. So if you have an interest in that, see Nancy. We'll get you hooked up. We'll probably start doing these the first part of, March?
Yeah, we don't want to oversaturate.
Right. All right.
So that means there'll just be a couple left over after I put them on my
Wash your
cars.
cars before you get
Yes.
signs.
Don't drive like a jerk.
Cindy, want to do this?
We're so blessed to have a place to study all these wonderful things. I am so excited I get to see Greg Braden speak on the global initiative. I've been following that incredibly. You guys got to look this up. And then I'm working on Ascension in private session too, so I'm so excited. But this is what we're here for, and this church makes many of these things possible to even talk about and grow, and so give what you can. We appreciate it.
Thank you. It's so quiet. So we did that process instead of a guided meditation. So any questions on that ascension orb before we close? Yes, ma'am?
Is it okay to see more than one orb? I saw mine, and then all of a sudden, a few other ones came in there.
I have no idea what that is. You might ask God about that. Pray about that and see what that's all about. I have no idea.
Is it more help?
Who knows? Ask about it. Ask and you shall receive.
I'm getting that it's more help that's been sent to you.
Well, you're special.
She is.
Any other questions on that?
Can we connect with other people's orbs without them being aware or without educating?
If they don't know that their orb is active, oh heck, I don't know, try. But your intent is really what it's about. That harmonic is really what it's about. So if you're asking, can you activate theirs, I think maybe part of your question is if you can activate theirs by paying attention to theirs. I don't know, try it and see. I mean, this stuff just came through. I don't know nothing. I'm just like the messenger here. Try it, see what happens. See what happens and report back. Yes, ma'am?
Do you suppose that the other orbs that she saw were other people's orbs connecting with her?
Right. That's possible.
Possible? She'll have to ask. Get back to us on that. Yeah.
I was gonna say, about connecting with somebody's orb who's not aware yet,
Mhm.
I'm gonna just reach out and give them a little energetic tap tap, and then they'll be like, oh, hey, I don't kind of knock on the door.
Wake up! I don't think that works. I mean, I don't know. Try it, see what happens. You know, all I know is that you are responsible for yours. And it's a gift given to you. It's a gift given to you so that you can make a difference in this world. Because as you're resonating in this harmonic, people will respond to that. Didn't Jocey say we seek to tune up? So as you're vibrating at this higher energy, people will automatically sense something and want part of that. And if they happen to say, gee, you seem to be in a good mood today, have I got a deal for you? You know, if they're not in a place to hear that, you can just say, I seem to be operating at a higher level of energy because I'm really being true to my sacred path. And if that doesn't awake them, just choose happy. And giving people an opportunity to step into that harmonic. You're creating that harmonic. It's not, well, you're not creating that harmonic. You're a vessel for that harmonic that's being gifted to us. And as we vibrate at that, others will notice, see it, pick it up, and harmonize with that. So if you have any other questions, you can chat with me later about that.